on YouTube.
Hello, everyone, and good morning, good evening. Welcome. Today, we've got a powerhouse of digital marketing experts here speaking today about a topic that we're very passionate about. Okay, we're very passionate about it because we're out here to help you with your digital marketing. And the so before I jump into what the topic is, I want to introduce my co-panelists here. So we've got Felicia, just Felicia,
Just Felicia.
our just Felicia, all right. Um, Professional dancer and video marketer. All right. So she's going to be giving us those insights in terms of how video marketing plays into the strategies that we're going to be talking about. Down in the corner, at least I think, Bernadette Chinley, digital marketing expert and strategist, very much into the SEO world. All right. And trying to help your business get found. Yours truly, Hillary, social media manager. All right. I am all things social, all things digital. Um, Bernadette will tell you I like the techie side of things, but there are more techie people out there in the world. And then we've got our lovely chef Katrina, who's actually doing all the tech stuff today. All right. Chef Katrina, you may know her as, yes, the former Disney chef, but also a Pinterest marketing expert. And when you pull all of us together, this is why we're talking about the discussion of this open versus closed digital marketing concept. Okay. Very much driven by what you're hearing right now, SEO keywords and all those type of things. And we are here to discuss with you. And there may be a little bit of debate because we've got a couple of people who are a little bit more, we're social, right? But we're also here to help you learn how to utilize all the platforms available to you, whether they're open or closed, to help you generate more leads and sales. All right. So without further ado, are we live on Facebook? No, not
We
yet.
are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live I couldn't do live on Facebook, so I had to share the YouTube channel. But if any of you guys want to just jump in there and share that, you guys are more than welcome. So,
all right.
Yeah, we have some opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I invited you all here.
Tested opinions.
Yeah, we have tested opinions. Opinions that we've tested, that we've tried, that we've either succeeded or been like, okay, what the flock is the word I'm going to use. We'll be very professional. There's no swearing, but maybe occasional, separate word used. And for those that are watching on the outside, don't worry. There's a good chance by the middle of this, you'll be brought in. And this should be a really interesting conversation. So, one thing I love about all of you is that we all come from a different element, right? So when you talk about what works and what doesn't work, especially when you're building a business, and there's some debate around a lot of stuff, and we have opinions around a lot of stuff, only because we've dealt with certain industries, and we sit here and we smack our heads, and we wonder what is going on in the world of this industry, right? Anybody agree?
Yeah,
totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. See, I told you guys.
So far, so good.
This is going to get opinionated. All right. So one of the industries that we've all kind of our background. So just so you guys are all aware that we actually have all come from like a network marketing background, meaning that we've all been in the industry at some point, whether we still are or not. Well, that's subject to some more debate, right? But the reality is that we've been part of an industry that talks about building a home-based business, building a personal brand, and then when you start looking at what the heck a business is, right, then we start getting a little gray here. So I want to open up this discussion. I want everybody to chime in. And I know we've got Jan and Jeff on YouTube. We've got Tom and Becky here with us on live on the webinar. So we are like literally everywhere inside of here. So I really want to know, what is your personal opinion around branding? Where do you think it starts?
Okay, branding is branding is what companies like to do, and branding comes and originates from the advertising world. I tell you what I want you to know about me. Branding is the face that you want others to see about you.
Felicia's sitting here biting her tongue. Go.
It's funny. It's funny that no, it's not funny. It's ironic. I gotta use the right words. It's ironic that for you it's the advertising industry. I was just, it's a short story, but it is a story. So I was just out eating cake with my mother-in-law because I recently had a birthday, and we have this gorgeous little, very old school. It's not a bakery. It's we have two things in Denmark. We have like a bakery, and then we have something a little bit finer, but I don't think there's a word for it really in English, but it's very, very fine cake. And it's a very rare craft these days because most people buy their stuff, you know, pre-made kind of sort of. This bakery is 150 years old this year. It's very special for a business to survive 150 years and not expanding. They only have that little bakery. They still live in the original setting. Everything is how it was when they first set it up, and they never did advertising ever, but they do have a brand. And that brand is super, super clear. Everybody knows what kind of treatment they will get when they get there. They know the cakes. They know what's in the cakes. It's a part of the brand for them is that they make everything from scratch, old school, everything. Nothing is bought, pre-made, anything. So you know what you're getting, you know the service. So for me, and the reason why I'm telling this is that I don't think it's necessarily always from the advertising strategy, but people got to know what they get when they get to you. It's what they think about. And people really, when they go to that special bakery inside of Copenhagen, what they think about is the old school service, you know, back in time when there was time to get to know your customer, when you took the time to craft the cakes from the beginning. And that what people know, they get in line to get that. And they don't care if there's advertising or if it's a 30-minute wait. They get in there, and that's their brand, and they built that without any advertising. So I think the brand starts from the core of either if you're a corporate business, then your business, or the core of you. Like Hillary, think of me as someone who dances, even though I do video and everything else, but that's her thought when she presents me. So for me, that's the brand.
Yeah, no, yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah. So I think you hit upon it, because even when I'm looking at some of the comments that are out here, right, it's like top of mind awareness. But what are you aware for, right? What's the awareness for?
Yeah.
Is it? And I think you said it perfectly. I think it falls. Truly believe it falls to your core value. Mm-hmm. What is your core belief? How are you going to take people? How are you serving people? Right? Because most businesses and most entrepreneurs, we get into business to help people, right? And I think it's important that as a brand, you've got to figure out what your core value is. What are you willing to do, and what are you willing not to do?
I think a lot of people, and this is, and I guess this is where the discussion always falls in terms of if you're looking at corporate, and you as an entrepreneur looking at a corporate business, what will you think a brand is? You would think the brand is your colors, your font, you know, all of those things. And that's not your brand. I mean, that company has come a long way. It's like when you think of a beastly cold Coke, what is that? It's not the red and the white. Sometimes it could be the Santa Claus. I don't know, but you know,
it's me on the beach drinking a Coke.
Yeah, you on the for you, right?
On a hot day, you go
on
to
a
the
hot
beach,
day,
drink your Coke,
right? But as entrepreneurs looking at the corporate world, right? Because corporate branding, it's still their core values. It's still how you experience the company. But as entrepreneurs, we get into business and we think we have to be like Coke and Pepsi and have all of these things. What's my colors? I have to get right down to what's the best color that will represent me. That's not your brand.
$10,000 on a logo, and I'm
on
like,
a logo.
but you could change your logo tomorrow.
I know, that's the crazy thing. You could. You can change your logo. You can change the look of your blog site. I mean, it's so digital. It can be changed in like 30 seconds or less. And then it's like, well, I was attached to this. Were you?
No, it's who you
I
are.
mean, you could get attached to it, but it might be bad for business.
It might be, yeah.
Might, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm delving a lot in businesses, corporations, 5-10-year-old businesses, and they get stuck on the brand story and not what you deliver to your customers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, that's why my definition of branding is where it is.
Yeah, because we do get stuck on the story. And honestly, like a lot of the times, if you go through some of the books, right? They say, you've got to develop your mission. What's your story? Who are you helping? How did it get here? Who are you talking to, right? Because everybody wants to be a part of the story. Disney's a prime example of this. When you work at Disney, you're a cast member because you're casted into the story. Right. And your whole job is to play the role of the character that you've chosen or has been designated to you inside of the environment. Right. But the whole thing for Disney is known by, it's iconically known now, right? But it wasn't iconically known by a mouse in the very beginning. People thought that was weird. Like, why would you use a mouse to describe your business? Like, that makes no sense. But, brands evolve over time. Right. And it's about the story. It's about it's all of it, right? So if you go to a company, they're going to ask you, well, what are your brand colors? What do you want for your thing? Just to create a consistency across the board if you're going to be found digitally, right? Because we also see everything digitally. So while we're developing our brand, colors actually help us remember brands also. If I put you in a blind room and just gave you colors, you would probably be able to tell me what brands were associated with that based on the colors I gave you. So it's not necessarily that, but it's the recognition piece. So sometimes we either focus too much on the recognition piece. Sometimes we're too focused on the story. Sometimes we're too focused on the avatar. Sometimes we're too focused on promoting everybody else but ourselves, or thinking we have to look or be a certain way. So there's a lot of things around branding, which is why I brought this discussion up, because if you don't understand what a brand is, or at least understand what value you're bringing to the marketplace, what we're going to be talking about between open and closed marketing has absolutely nothing to do with you. Seriously, for me, it's the end game. Marketing is like the end game, but you've got to start with what it is you want to be known for, right? And that for me is like the big piece of the puzzle. Everyone says, oh, I need to run the ad because the ad will get me in front of everybody. No, if you don't have a product page or a place to send people to, the ad is absolutely worthless.
Or if you don't understand who you are and who you're helping, it also won't help that, you're in front of everyone, but everyone is confused now. Who is this person? What are they really doing? Are they really adding any value, or are they entertaining me? What are they doing? And that becomes your brand, like some blurry. And that's definitely not good for business.
I will say the funny thing is that, and I know no names mentioned or businesses mentioned, but there are sometimes where the content is so singularly focused that they don't realize they're missing their whole audience. Mm-hmm. Right. I've met individuals, especially around blog content, that say the same thing every single week, just rephrased in a different way. But the content never changes. There's no added other value. Right. They're in constant sell mode, but they think they have value with the sell, but they don't have anything. There's no personal experience of how they're using it. What are their results? What are the people they're working for results? What are your customers' results? Right? Everyone's so me focused that they forget that there's somebody else involved in the equation.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't know about you, and I know all of us sitting here, even those that are attending, we all have a business. But to have a business, somebody's got to buy something. So ultimately, who are we serving?
The customers. Not me. Exactly. You can't be self-serving. You can't be self-serving. Exactly.
No, but that's a lot of times when people say I'm building my brand, it's all about them.
Them. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how many of you heard that?
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
all
build
about
brand
them.
you. Well, that's just me. Go ahead, Henry. Sorry.
Well, like and it's great that you bring this topic up, Katrina, because you got to get into the right mindset in order to be open to the changes that you need to make
in your business
for your future success. And your success could be tonight if you would just change.
I mean, I have conversations with a lot of my students, and I'm like, well, what are you selling? Well, it's an affiliate product. No, what are you selling? You. What value are you bringing? Are you going to walk them through this training? Are you going to show them how to use these? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
How are you serving that? Go ahead.
I'm gonna go walk the line and just be bold and tell about a very recent story, because I just got I actually just applied to be an affiliate for, I'm not going to mention the program, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I applied and they rejected me. And at first I was like, what? Because I was focused so much on the criteria to be accepted was, how long you've been in business and a few other qualities. And I was so focused on that I completely forgot that some of the things that I am taking that direction, but some of the products I wanted to affiliate for, I haven't really written the content yet, so they can't really see that that's in my brand yet. And so they rejected me, and it's completely the same with that. Of course, they're not going to take on, this is a serious affiliate program. They're not going to take on someone where they can't see the brand there yet. I may have it in my head. And I think that's where a lot of businesses, get stuck. They kind of have something in their head, but their customers, it doesn't really matter if it's a customer or an affiliate. I mean, they're not going to take me on right now because I haven't showed them that I'm worthy of their affiliate program. And the same with your customers. If you haven't shown them what you're all about and where the value lies with, looking at your stuff, they're not going to go with you. And like Katrina just said earlier, then it doesn't really matter if you're doing open or closed platforms, because no one is going to, and it's the same with, I think for any business, do you guys also get the question, what is the best platform for me to be on?
That's a lot, right? Next. You guys, you just went right into this conversation.
I was feeling your thoughts, your brainwaves over here.
Yes, because that is a typical question that everybody's like, what's the best platform to be on? And depending on, like, I know we're all over the world here, but there's some people where Facebook is the newest hot thing, and it's like, okay, but where are your customers? I'm always preaching this. It's like, where are your customers? I'm sorry, I'm not into Snapchat, but if you are selling a product where everybody who's going to buy your product is on Snapchat, guess where you need to be?
And if what you're selling is perfect for that platform, because that's another thing, right? You can have a really great, maybe your customers are kind of like on Facebook and on Instagram and on some other platform, but then what platform can you really bring your product? Because like Katrina started out saying, if you're in network marketing, for example, you will run into some challenges if you're on Facebook. So you might want to look at a platform where you don't have the challenges, and vice versa. That's just an example, but it just sometimes you have products also that just doesn't, or services that just doesn't make sense for that platform and the mindset people are in, because every platform kind of serves a purpose. They have a theme. Like Facebook is a way to connect with people. That's how it started out, at least, to connect with people. And then I think it's evolved, right, to a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying that every platform has its thing, and your service might not really fit into the mindset people are in when they're on that platform.
Yeah.
Hillary, you've got something to say. You're like blowing your lips, like.
No, but it's I'm just to back up Felicia, because one of the things, Felicia, yes, I keep saying Michelle, sorry.
We'll eventually catch your name, don't worry.
Yeah, I will. But coming back to like the purpose, because I think this we probably we were just chatting side chat before, but when you're talking about, you have to remember all of these platforms, they're in a business as well. And you as a business owner are coming onto these platforms to do business, to get business, to attract business to your website, to your store, wherever, right? And exactly as Felicia is saying, they have a purpose as well. So what is YouTube's purpose? What is Facebook's purpose? What is Instagram's purpose? What is Pinterest's purpose, right? And if you understand their business, understand, and you don't have to take a long time, just understand what is the core purpose for that platform. And then you understand how to play to that platform for your business, right? Because you, at the end of the day, you're here to get leads and sales. That's what your business is about. If not, you're running a NGO, nonprofit.
Yeah, so I've got an opinion just sitting here boiling over here because I
Let's
just saw a
hear it.
post or comment, right? And it just pisses me off. I'm sorry. It just aggravates the flock out of me. Every new social media site, it's like the new next best thing. It's like the shiny object syndrome. Swear to God, right? I'm just gonna vent here. Just let me rant. And if you guys have anything to add to this, please do so. Or if you totally disagree with me, please do so. But I'm so tired of vanity platforms. All right, so let's like really talk about the open and closed platforms of the world, okay, and the purpose of them. Now, I sit here for the last 5 years, and I think, you know, everybody here and those watching and listening, I'm almost positive you can tell me everyone's been so heavily focused on Facebook. I think I get more emails in my inbox about Facebook marketing, Facebook cheats, Facebook something. I'm like, it is so like everybody's like so invested in it. I'm almost afraid that they feel that if they changed or pivoted to anything else, they'd lose their entire business. Because a lot of these people have built their entire brand around being the expert around this particular platform, right? But there is sometimes it's a vanity for me. I'm pissed off at the vanity plate, right? It doesn't matter how many followers you have. If nobody's buying, it's vanity. I don't care if you want to go over to TikTok because there's 1,000 followers. I watched a lady the other day that was like, hey, I was on TikTok. I'm in the medical industry and I talk about this and there are this many people that are watching me. And my question was like, yeah, but are you making any sales? Are any of those people walking into your business? Because if you're worried about the views, and I know Felicia and I've talked about this, the views are vanity. That is a stroke to your freaking ego. But if you're not getting leads and you're not making sales, I don't care how big your ego is. I don't care how many people are following you. That is not making you a dime. Right?
I like Becky's comment. Facebook is so yesterday.
It pisses me off because I will tell you, for me, and I know it's not for everybody, right? But vanity platforms for me, I mean, if I were to name them, it's going to be Instagram. I consider that completely a vanity platform. It's all about me, my life, what I'm doing, and how you can sell me something. It's perfect if you're in that industry. It does great for fashion designs. It does great for that whole industry. It does really well. I promise you, I've bought stuff off of Instagram, but it's all been around fashion. Shockingly, right? Because it's all about people wearing it and giving their thing. It is totally an ego-driven platform, right? Great viewership. Everyone's worried about followers and how many they can get.
Yeah, that or art. Just saying from a dancer's perspective, like it's a heavily influenced by dancers as well because we can see each other.
The arts, you could say, yes.
Really
the arts,
also, yeah.
Because I've seen musicians, artists, and all of those. But you see, I mean, it boils down to your buyers, and any platform, you could use any platform for business. So this is where I would disagree with the vanity aspect of it, because if you are in that business where you need that, right, you need the followers and you need the boost, because nobody's going to know a musician unless they've got followers to push that, right? So that you could get invited to gigs and all of these type of things. So I understand that
if you want to be a brand ambassador, it's like really great.
Yes, brand ambassadors. That's another business opportunity. But the reality is every platform has its own purpose, right? And I mean, I remember recently, I can't remember when it was, but I said, what's the point of a like if you don't invite? I think Bernie and we did a kind of thing around that, where if you've got likes, how many likes are converting into sales? You're a business owner And a lot of people go after the likes, they go after the followers, but they're not thinking of the rest of the process, right? Because you're not in business to get likes. You're in business so that at the end of the month, when you're chatting with your accountant, you're not saying we got to go to the bank to get a loan to cover next month's expenses, right?
But that's because they're focused on brand.
Well, the wrong brand as well too. Not even.
Well, the brand that they have in their head.
And
People go after
they focus
likes
on them
and thing because they focus on the brand. Yeah, exactly.
They focus on them.
That's the flip. Is like when you focus on you, what are you really trying to grow?
Yeah, you're not growing a business. Yeah.
And I will say this, I think, we've been having this debate in my house for the last couple of months, but like how detrimental it's been to the sociology of our children and everything else with social media, but that's a whole nother topic. Let's stick back to open and close. All right, so let's pick apart. So first of all, I will go back on my rant. I love people, but you can't be everywhere. Okay. You have to choose your platform. Choose one, master it. Choose one that's getting you leads, getting you sales, and then take your audience with you to the next platform. I see one of the biggest detriments I see is that they try to be everywhere and they try to build everywhere. You will burn your business out faster, especially if you're doing self-branding. If you are the only person doing this, I promise you right now, it is not in your best interest to try to be on every single platform because it has lots of people. Every platform has lots of people. Yeah. And will continue to have lots of people, right? Lots of people should not be the reason you're over there. Okay. Definitely. You got to be smart about where you're going and if it makes sense for you, right? And I'm still a believer, and I was just talking with Hillary about this earlier. My tribe is really pushy, and I love them for that, right? You guys are pushy people. But you also really push me in the direction of where you want to learn and where's your biggest gap. And I've always said, and I was looking through some slide decks that I've done in the past because things are coming back into play again. But I always said, if you want to build your business, start with your home base.
Your home base.
And your home base is always going to be your website, right? You have got to own your real estate online. If you don't own it, somebody else will. And then they're going to charge you to get it. I can't tell you how many people, there's a big business buying and selling domains. Big business. You know why? Because having that brand, having that authority, having that presence online, for most people will tell you that this is a legit business. If I can't find you on the internet, you must not be a legit business. And I don't care if you have 14 million followers on Facebook. If you don't have a presence off of those social platforms, I don't know where your business really is. Right. And I've talked and I've watched mentors and I've talked with big business leaders, and there's not a single person. If you go out there, if you use the internet, you're searching for somebody, and are they going to find you or are they going to find your competition? Because you have zero presence on the outside of a social platform. And I've always said, you own your blog, your website, and your email list. Those are the two things you actually pay for that generate you leads and sales. What you don't own is social media. You rent social media. You only use that to advertise organically or paid to bring people back to your home base. If you're going to be on a social media site, use it to bring people back to your home. Your home is not that social media site, right? That's where I find the biggest gap. And I've always been a believer that if you want to talk about attraction marketing, you want to know what the definition of attraction marketing is, people find you.
Attract.
They find you.
They find you. They like you.
Chef, you need like I don't know. You need something like some drama,
right?
That makes it like flames or something. No, but anyways,
one question.
I get the point. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chef, so people find you, and this is when I look at social, right? Yeah, you could be anywhere. One of the things that I found interesting is small business owners, especially here in Trinidad. Sometimes when you go on their Facebook profile and you click on website, right? You know how you could have the website link. It comes right back to the Facebook page.
Facebook. It was like it's a website.
I heart people like this, okay? I give them props for at least having the presence of mind to have their business there. Like I really do. Right? There's gaps. Okay, let's be straight. Nobody's perfect. You should have seen my website when I first started. You should have seen my first couple of, emails.
You had a website. You had a website. You had the presence of mind to know that one day Facebook would shut down. You have to start. And I always say have it because, yeah, chef, my first website was horrific. All right. But it was there, domain bought, hosting done and everything. Okay. So that's where you start. Now, the everything else, you know, with the SEOing and meta tags, that will develop.
So right? We all know that
right?
for sure.
It will develop. But the thing is like if you're on Facebook, right? And I mean, I've been on Facebook since college days, right? Mm-hmm. So before Facebook went public, I was on Facebook. So yes, it is yesterday, but I don't use Facebook like solely for business because I want to be found. As you said, you want to be found, right? Your website is where you're going to do your business, right? Or, you know, if you have the stores or everything, but you still need to have that hub that people could come to when Facebook shuts down, when Instagram shuts. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, well, right? Because all of these are outside of your business. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
So the other thing, so she goes out. But no, to tie into what Hillary says there too, right? Facebook changes. Many of us know that the algorithm is going to change. The news feed is going to leave, right? That's been like one of the biggest predictions. The news feed is going away, right? I just got an email, something that Zuckerberg is finally going to put into the effect where you can delete your outside Facebook experience so that those that are tracking us as marketers can't actually track you off of Facebook.
Say that again.
So, and I don't know the details of this, but apparently Zuckerberg for Facebook says, hey, you're going to have more control over your Facebook profile, whether people are going to be able to track you off for Facebook for your activities.
Oh, okay.
But that's what we as marketers do.
The cookies and stuff.
The cookies are going to be, you're able to delete your own cookies from so that people can't follow you. Marketers can't follow you. Businesses can't follow you.
But then they sell to the pages, the cookies.
Based on the pixel, you know, so you can have a pixel for your business and that pixel is a tracking device. And people can basically say that even if a business has a pixel that allows them to see the behavior of people that click on their ads and when they go outside of Facebook, they can turn that off because they need to have more control over how their data is used. And I think it's a side effect of everything that happened previously with the misuse of people's data. So that's how they choose to handle that. And also I know that it's been confirmed that because there's only so much real estate where there's only so many places where Facebook can show ads. And everyone knows now that Facebook has been, it still is for many businesses a really good place to advertise.
True.
So a lot of people come there and a lot of new businesses know this now. It's common knowledge that this has been a really good strategy and still is for a lot of businesses. But it means that there's also more competition. And so if you come in as a new advertiser, a new business on Facebook, first of all, it's harder to get in the game. And the same thing that happened with Google, where because Google got so popular as a strategy, they could sort all the businesses out that they didn't really want. There's, like Hillary just talked about, how you need to understand the purpose of the platform. And so the people that didn't fit to that purpose of Google, they just went out. And everything, the prices went higher to make sure that the people who are advertising are people that are serious about the business. And and then the same thing is happening to Facebook now. It's this natural kind of development, but it's not a question of when it will happen. It is happening now.
It is happening. Yeah. And it will happen, right? And if your entire business has been built around, you know, as you said, when Google did that, everybody came over to Facebook. Now Facebook's doing it. Everybody's going to move to where, Katrina?
so there's a couple of places we're moving, but they're definitely moving to Pinterest. It's definitely the next place to be. So it's kind of, and I always do mention it. I say it is kind of like when Facebook went public, when they became a publicly held company, they have to start looking at their advertisers, right? What businesses are coming to their platform. Now, what I will say about Pinterest that they've learned from Google. They've learned from Facebook. They've learned from Twitter. They've learned from YouTube, because they're the baby in this group, but they also have watched and learned from their predecessors, right? You want to talk about somebody that's positioned themselves very well in what the next market is going to look like. Pinterest has done it. Honestly, Pinterest has set themselves up very well to, be a brand that's only for buyers and shoppers. It's intentional marketing, right? Social media in general is very unintentional. How many of us, I'm gonna throw myself, just posted, there's like, oh, look, I had coffee today. Oh, look, I had this today, right? And then you can like throw in a link, right? It's very unintentional. A lot of the ads that I see are like, people doing weird things or family photos, and then they're selling you on something. It's like, how does this image even relate?
Yes.
Right. But that's what's getting approved, because Pinterest will say, hey, we are a person-to-person platform, right? Pinterest says, no, we're a business platform. Get intentional. Make sure every pin and image you put up there leads to something, and make sure it leads to the correct something. Right. Now, they did have a lot of growing pains. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of cleaning up to do on Pinterest. But for those that understand, because Felicia and I were talking about this the other day, and we were doing some keyword research and we're doing some SEO, and she was like, yeah, but what I'm trying to put up here doesn't exist yet.
Lucky me.
Yes.
Like, you think it doesn't exist yet, but you got to remember the age of the platform and the intention of this platform and what it's evolved from. Many of it was a female dominant platform. Many of it was recipes and clothing and everything else. Well, now there's like 40% that are joining every single month is male. That's a huge male demographic that's coming onto this platform, right? It's intentional. What are you actually promoting? Do you want to generate a lead? And the thing is with Pinterest, if you want to get ranked on Pinterest, guess what you need to have?
Yours.
A website.
Oh, sorry. First.
Yes.
Website.
First the website, then do your keywords.
Yeah, but you have to have a website. It's actually one of the things is verify your website. Because if you're a business, I'll help you drive traffic to your business, right? If you're an affiliate, I'll help you drive traffic to your affiliate, but you got to at least have a website to send people to, right? And you have to understand what you're sending them to. So the image is really important. We were talking about this yesterday on our chat. I said, it's really funny about Pinterest. This is why I talk about vanity platforms, and I just wanted to make sure that was well in there, because a lot of the times, what does Facebook do when you put a picture of all four of us? What does it ask you to do? Do you want to tag this person?
Yeah.
Do you want to tag this person? So it's facial recognition software with Facebook, right? Guess what doesn't exist on Pinterest?
Facial recognition.
They don't care what you look like.
It's going to find that shelf behind Felicia.
This is not a selfie platform, right? They want to know, like, I did this before. So,
or my shirt.
There's an app on your phone called Pinterest. If you guys have it, awesome, right? And it's funny, but I dare you guys all to do this, just to do this. If you go into Pinterest, I swear to you, I just want to know all your results. For everybody that's watching, I just want you to tell me what happened, okay?
So, come on.
Let me share my screen and just take a picture of myself, and people can see it.
You have that ability. So if you click on your the search icon, if you click on the little search icon when you're on your mobile device, right? In the top there'll be a little camera. So if you click on that camera, it asks you to take a picture, right? Now, if you flip it, I want you guys to flip it. I want you guys to test this. And I want you to take a picture of yourself, right? Make sure you include kind of your clothing area, because you'd be surprised, but take a picture. And what does Pinterest
they took on my headphones.
So Pinterest pulled up your headphones.
Yeah.
Pinterest pulled up my chef jacket.
1 minute, I'm still going.
right?
Okay, and then if I do my green screen, I don't know what happened.
They
I don't know
pulled
if it
up
will
my
take that.
my they pulled up my picture frame, because that's what I'm seeing, tons of picture frames.
So they're pulling up your picture frame. They're still pulling for Michelle, her ear set. So it didn't matter about the
Yeah.
green screen for her.
Yeah.
And that might
Headset.
wash it out. But that's the interesting thing, right? Is that Pinterest doesn't recognize your face. It's looking at everything around you. What are you wearing? What do you want to see, right? The software that Pinterest has created is for image recognition. They want to be known as the platform that's able to recognize any image in your home, bring it to you, tell you the best deal and offer locally. And if you're an info marketer, like some of us, like I have a product for Pinterest, it's going to be a lot about how I build my colors and my brands. It's also going to be my topography. What type and font am I using? And then taking in pictures of my own brand image, but not with my face, with maybe a caricature or something that's a brand or something, because that's what it's going to pull for. Do you guys all find that very interesting?
Mm-hmm.
You guys all sat there and feel like you're like, ooh. Yeah. See, and Jeff's like, it pulled
I got
my
all
hat.
shells.
Yeah, so it's going to pull, it's probably going to pull more notebooks.
Notebooks, yep.
Yeah.
Notebooks.
So when you want a new notebook, if you're out shopping, you can take a picture of what you're looking to buy. And
so yeah. Becky's like, glasses. Lots of people wearing glasses. Well, yeah. Are you looking for different glasses, right?
Yeah.
Because the reality of Pinterest is that it's a buyer's platform, and it's here for you to be inspired by something new product-wise to add into your life. Pinterest is personal. It is truly personal. For a non-business owner, those that use it for personal use are pinning things that are important to them. Weddings that they're planning, babies that are coming into their lives, birthday parties, holidays, table settings, furniture, gardening, tattoos, cars, dogs. The list goes on and on and on.
Cleaning.
Yes.
You know what I just realized? It's really funny to me, actually, very ironic. So you would think that Pinterest, because it's business oriented and inspirational, that it would be less personal, right? Because there's not so much social. And then you have Facebook and Instagram, and those that you would think would be more personal because you're sharing, about your life. And the funny thing is that it's kind of the opposite, right? It's counterintuitive. So Pinterest has ended up being so much more personal because all that stuff is taken out. And the social platforms are not as personal. It's just a realization I just had. It's kind of, and Pinterest is, it's an open platform because you can be searched outside of the platform, and yet it's still more personal. Versus, not to say anything bad about the other platforms, it's interesting.
Yeah, so I guess Jan asked about, if I take a picture of another system. So if you take a picture of like maybe an affiliate company you're part of, their logo is going to be what you're going to pull up, right? Like I know if I take a picture of a Tabasco bottle, I'm 100% sure I'm going to get to see other Tabasco bottles. Trust me, tried it. Take a picture of an Oreo cookie, you'll see that too. So yeah, if you're taking a picture of something that's on your computer for a brand that is recognized as a logo, there's a potential to pull up that logo, right? But it'll also show up like if you have a course that you're building out, that's why you want to have we talked about earlier, like what is your brand? If I'm doing a digital marketing course, my color scheme is going to be part of my brand just so that it's image recognized by Pinterest, right? That would be the bigger piece. But in all honesty, when you talk about open and closed, so for me, closed platforms, and if you guys would disagree or not, but I'm going to say Facebook's a closed platform. Pinterest, Facebook loves Facebook. Facebook Lives, Facebook Stories. Like if you keep everybody on there, and that points to what you're talking about. It's like your website. If you just bring them back to Facebook, then Facebook just loves you for that.
Yeah.
Right. So having the Facebook, I would say, is closed, right? Because they really don't want you leaving the platform. What's another one you consider? I would say Instagram's closed.
Instagram
and Snapchat.
And
So
Snapchat.
Snapchat's closed.
Very close.
I would say even what's the one? Jan, you mentioned it. It was something
TikTok?
like
TikTok.
TikTok, I think, is also closed, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to have a membership site. You have to get into that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to see that information off those sites. So that's when we talk about like what's the difference between a closed platform and an open platform. Is a closed platform is that and I just love everybody, but if you're doing a ton of video on Facebook
and it's not going anywhere else,
it's not going anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They're not seeing it anywhere else. It's not searchable. Heck, it's not even searchable on Facebook. You ever try to find a video that you did? Oh, you can find it?
Now, the only caveat, right, is, and this is how Facebook has been relying on people always being logged into Facebook. You know how when you leave a platform, you log out? Facebook is definitely relying on people who are members of the platform to always be logged in. You can go to Google. If you are logged in on Facebook, search and find Facebook content. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, you're still open to Facebook, right? So that's the only way Google's going to find you. But if you are one of those people that you don't have a Facebook account, or you log out, you know, like you're one of those conscientious people that logs out of everything when you leave your computer, you just go to search. Nothing that's on Facebook will be found. So that's the only caveat. And I think Facebook is relying on the fact that most people don't log out of their things anymore, right? So that's the only way. But, you know, for all the millions of people that are on Facebook, there are billions that are not. So let's keep that in mind, right? But everybody's searching on Google, and the way Google works is
it's a search engine.
It's a search engine. So connect, make sure that you've got your content, your business presence where it can be found. You know, that's what we're advocating here.
And another advocate, and I think Bernie could even talk to this one, is that, you know, what can be found when searches happen is your page, your Facebook page, not necessarily your profile, but your Facebook page can be found. So if you do have a page set up and you go to Google and you say, hey, you know, Chef Katrina, it will pull up my Twitter account. It will pull up my Facebook account. It will pull up the pages to those businesses so that you can find me elsewhere. But the first thing it's going to pull up is my website.
Yep.
That's one of the big things that Google changed recently, was they are ranking pages versus your website. Because they want to be relevant. They want people that when they search for a barbecue pet, if you sell appliances, they want people to see barbecue pets. So they're not going to rank your website. So a lot of people pay attention to the homepage and they don't realize that they got to rank their pages.
Yeah, the content is where you rank, and that's how you rank for multiple categories.
Exactly.
Right. That's why it's important to be able to realize what your audience is. And it goes back to like knowing your audience, right? What are they looking for and what value are you providing them? Because you can have multiple content pieces. You can have a content piece that talks, you know, I'm going to pick on Hillary. Hillary's a social media manager. She can be writing content about LinkedIn, about Facebook, about blogging, about everything else. And she can be ranking for those different terms because she's a social media manager, including the term social media manager. Right? Top social media manager in Trinidad. She could potentially rank for that keyword all by itself, right? There's probably minimal competition, but if you're actually in the search mode, if you're thinking from your client perspective, what are they looking for? And ideally, a lot of times we look for local first, which is one of the big missings that people have, is that they don't look to figure out how to maximize or monetize their local market for what they do.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you build local, you'll global. Right? Because those people locally will start telling other people outside, and that's really kind of how you grow. But being known locally is a big piece of the puzzle. A lot of times I feel like it's missed. So we've covered some of the closed platforms. So open platforms, we're definitely leaning more towards. It's all, honestly, I don't know another platform that's not keyword based. So if I'm talking open platforms, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but here we go. eBay, open platform. Amazon, open platform. Think about it. They're all keyword search based.
I tell people, I said,
content.
eBay is an excellent place to sell.
Right. So you're talking SEO, right? So SEO, keyword based, you know how to get found. You're ranking for that. So a blog is an open source. You actually own your own blog. Like you can really say anything you want. You can, change it up. You know what's really interesting about having a blog and a website? Free leads.
Oh, wow. Is there something such as that?
Yeah, you can still get leads organically, right? Like, I think that's the craziest thing. But you can still have a website and have an opt-in, give something away or give some value. And people have an opportunity to opt in. Guess what? It didn't cost you anything. If you've done organically share, like if you shared to social platforms and it brought people in because they wanted to learn more about what you're doing, that's a free opt-in. I didn't have to pay for a lead. Because sometimes I think we get caught up in that I have to pay for leads. I built a whole business without paying for leads. I just continue to provide great content so that they want to find out more when I'm going live or, selling something. Right?
I actually saw a statistic somewhere. If I can find it, I will post it or send it to you, Katrina, and you can post it. But darn it, I wish I remember.
Statistics on what?
But
what particular?
But it was a statistics on that actually most traffic comes from searching. Like
yes,
50%. Social media is responsible for a little piece of the cake, and most of it comes from searching. I will find the statistics somewhere.
Yeah, I have what do you call it? We did a statistical how you call it? Anyway, we did a research, big data on 61 million searches on the websites that we manage across the board, across the world. And within 61 million searches, close to 55% of them are repeat. The biggest search comes from organic. 23% comes from paid. So there's a huge market out there for organic, and it's not necessarily the first ranking that gets the most leads. So if you're not on number 1, but you're on 3, 5, and 7, that's actually going to give you more leads than ranking on number 1. And as well as long tail keywords, that is not going to go away. Google is continually trying to improve their results that they give to the people who search on them, because if they don't do that, then they're going to go obsolete. That's their purpose. Google's purpose is to give the best and most related result for the question that the person asks.
Nice.
Yeah, so when you talk about, YouTube is an open source. YouTube is searchable.
Yes.
I've seen everything. When you were talking about Hillary earlier, it's like you need viewers and watchers, right? So sometimes, we hear it all the time. There's actually people in the music industry that their whole job is to search YouTube for the next talent. Okay. Right? That's their job, is to sit there and watch all the videos, all the music videos, all these kids performing and find the next talent, because it's one of the fastest ways to do it, right? So if you're a musician or an artist, getting up on YouTube, putting your music up there, creating your own videos, you have the better chance of either self-promoting and or getting found to be promoted, right? So the MySpace of the day, I know I throw out a really old word there, MySpace. We're talking, I've just dated myself.
Yeah, you did. MySpace.
I was like 5 years old.
And it still exists. MySpace still exists. You guys can actually look it up. MySpace still exists.
I was amazed by that when I saw
I don't even know if I know my password for that one anymore.
But the question is, what's the purpose of it? What was the purpose of MySpace?
So the MySpace was the space to be on before Facebook. That was the social group. Like, you were connecting with people, you were getting to know people. You could create little groups also and have, chats and, all that stuff. But it was a way to put your pictures up there, let people know what you're up to. It was the pre-Facebook, and then Facebook basically wiped out MySpace. In terms of servers, because it was more user-friendly. It wasn't as clunky. The interface was easier to work with. but yeah, it still exists, right? So we've got things like YouTube. We have, Google is always looking for new content. Pinterest is always looking for new content. YouTube is always looking for new content. Amazon is always looking to bring you the best new products that are available. eBay. I mean, when you talk about what SEO really is, that's what you want to do, right? And the website that knows their audience and knows what they're going after is going to perform the best. Right. Yeah. And then you're always looking about how do you link back to these authority sites. So Facebook is considered an authority site. It's got a very big, large base. A lot of people use it and they go to it all the time. So linking back to your profile or your business page is not a bad thing on your blog. Right. You can use that to connect with other people. But it's, for me, what I love about Pinterest is Pinterest brings you the most organic because it's connected to your blog. It says, hey, connect me to your YouTube channel, connect me to your Instagram channel,
and connect me to your Etsy account.
And Etsy.
And Etsy.
Seriously? Yes. I can sell?
Yeah. You can sell buyable pins. Like you can sell, but again, understanding on Etsy or even Shopify, because Shopify ties in really well with buyable pins on the Pinterest platform. But you have to understand how to keyword rank. Mm-hmm. Right? You have to understand the basis of how to get found. Does that make sense?
Total.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I know we're at the time here, so I'm going to kind of do a little plug in. Are you guys good if I do a little plug?
Go right ahead.
You're right ahead.
All right,
I just want to say, Jan said she still has her MySpace account because she can't figure out how to delete it.
I probably still don't know how to delete it. I've sent everybody here. They're like, ooh, do I still have a MySpace account? I haven't heard that in a while. Now we're all going to look, right? See if it's still active. I apologize to all of you. I've just created a monster. But no, really, one of the things that has me so passionate about it is that I do teach Pinterest. You mentioned that's one of the things. And over the last year and a half since I've had my course out, I've done a lot of mentoring, a lot of one-on-one training around this. What I've tended to found, and maybe you guys can relate, because I know many of you have been to live events. Mm-hmm. Going to a live event, I think, is really important, right? Taking what we do online and bringing it like in person with people and getting to meet them, I think is a big piece of the puzzle. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and it just seems to, having somebody there to really help you out. It just gives you something else. It makes you understand things faster.
Yeah, because you're hands-on with each other, right? So if we were all sitting in a room together, this would be really cool, actually, because we would probably have this really awesome mastermind that would happen after this, because you'd all be sitting in the room and be like, ooh, and laptops would come out and things would be discussed. And there's conversations that happen in an intimate setting or off in those breaks that you would never have if you were sitting behind your desk at home or even in your own neighborhood, right? So one of the things I've been talking about for the past year was I would really love to do a Pinterest workshop. And I've been dancing around it. I'll tell you right now. I've been like, yes, no. But I think right now, especially where we're going, I know, it's just like, but I think where we're heading with all the changes that are taking place on Facebook, with what we're seeing start to change and evolve on YouTube and search in general, I think it's really important that we have a 3-day workshop where we can dive into the nuts and bolts of what we talked about, right? Understanding your keywords I think is the most critical thing. And most people overlook the simplest and the best ones to go after. I actually went through a slide deck on blogging and I said, oh yeah, these are all the keywords I'm ranking for. Now this slide deck was back from 2014. I went back in incognito to both YouTube and Google, and guess who's still ranking #1 for those keywords?
Wherever you're at.
And so the reason I share that, not to boast or brag, is because I've been taught how to rank for your terms that really are going to drive your business forward. And so I put together a Pinterest. It's called the Sweet Pinterest Escape. Just to be totally fact, it's your escape from the demands of social media marketing, right? Wouldn't it be better to invest a few hours every single, week to build your social presence to be found so that you can share it out to social media and continue to grow your business? So I've put together 3 days. So this is 3 days of jam-packed training. So we're going to do keyword research. We're going to do brand awareness. I'm also bringing in a photographer and videographer. The reason for this is that most people don't know how to take pictures of their own brands or products. So whether you're a digital product or you have a physical product, bring it to and let my team work with you to photograph or even video the images that you can use, because we do know moving images are doing very well. So how would you like an image of your product or service that moves, that captures people's attention as they scroll through Pinterest? Now, I can't, didn't
And
say
might I just add?
Yep, go.
Before you move away from that, so just because I'm gonna be there too, and I just wanna say that it doesn't really matter what you're looking to do with the pictures. Even if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I can ever really figure this thing out, I probably can, or I can definitely figure out how to learn how to do it. So I'm very nerdy that way. If it's creative, I will figure it out. So just, just don't be shy. Just search.
She jumped the gun. So while I'm bringing in a photographer and videographer, the person that's going to help you put together is Felicia. She's going to help you what she calls, and what I love to hear is they stitch this together, right? Because it doesn't take much to put it together if you understand how the story flows, right? So this workshop is something that I am doing. So I'm bringing this in, and we did talk about it, but I'm also bringing in a SEO YouTube expert. She's the one that taught me how to rank, which I'm still ranking for. And I thought maybe you guys should have that type of training also. Because if I can show you how to rank for long tail keywords, you're going to blow Pinterest out of the water for what you're marketing to. Use that for your videos and your blog content. You might be sitting pretty for a fairly good number of years, because that's what's going to tie into you both organically improving your content and how to monetize with social media effectively, right? So that's really what it is. So this is now the other crazy part behind this. Not only do I have Michelle coming, not only do I have my special guests and my videographers, and I have a couple other people that I've been talking to about coming to be there, but this event is taking place at a mansion. It's called the Sweet Escape. It's a Candyland mansion. Okay. Like, if I could pick a better place to talk about Pinterest and branding, this house is designed specifically. I mean, the owner is like over the top thrilled. I think I might even have him come and be there to learn how to market his other houses on Pinterest, right? So you're going to be staying in the mansion. Where do you? It's going to be funny. The pool is an ice cream cone pool, shaped like an ice cream cone. It's got a slide. It's got a jacuzzi that's a cherry on top. It's well done. So the whole purpose is there is I know that I do better in learning environment when I can have fun doing it. And I want you to be in place that inspires that creativity and bring to you the creative team that can help bring your brand to life on both Pinterest, inside of the SEO for even YouTube, and for your blog. So that's what I'm out to transform inside this conversation for 3 days. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that's a lot to cover, but I promise you it's worth it. So it's an all-inclusive. So you're getting the training, access to these incredible freaking leaders, and you're going to do it in a house that is unlike, I mean, I have people like that. Can I just come to the house? I'm like, no, you got to come for the training, right? The house is secondary. But this is a really big key component that I think moving forward. And I'm just really excited to be able to host this workshop. I'm excited that, Felicia is going to be there to help really work in the details, so that in those off times, we get to work one-on-one with you, which you're never going to experience, because most workshops are huge and they're getting bigger and bigger. This is intimate. We're keeping this to 10 to 15 people, because we really are about, yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to share.
Yeah, you do.
So she's the shower.
Yeah, so this is crazy, but it is a Hershey slide. You can't see it, but you can see it. There's a chessboard in the background. There's a tetherball thing. There's the pool, the slides. And when it's at night, it lights up like this really cool blue color. So we're going to probably have some barbecues out there and all sorts of fun stuff, but really creating a environment for you to thrive and be around a lot of creativity, have fun, laugh, giggle, and just, make something different. So that's my plug for that. Cause I really, now everyone's asking me, how many times are you going to do this? The reality is this will probably be the only time I do it this year here in the States. Shockingly. My goal, and one of the things I put in together with my business project moving forward, is that I always have one Pinterest mastermind event here in the States. And then I would promise my European family that I would bring it over there to them too. So I have Michelle flying over from Denmark for this one because I want her here for this one so that when we do it over there, we know what kind of space we're looking for also. But ideally, this will only happen twice a year. And the reason I'm doing it in March is because of the fact that I want to make sure you optimize for the rest of this year and beyond to really set yourself up with SEO, these images, because Pinterest needs your content. It needs your business, and it needs to be done in a way that you continue to get found on this platform. And I said need a lot, but truly, like
is it still true that I remember at the beginning of last year, it was only 20% of the people on the platform that produced the content that was then shared out. I mean, 20%. And then the rest of the content floating out there is just people sharing what those 20% had created.
80%.
Yes.
80% of those that use the Pinterest platform save pins. That means there's only 20% of people or businesses that are actually creating content for the Pinterest platform, which right now with what you're doing for advertising truly gives you a really severely, steeply unfair advantage to learning Pinterest right now, because you're going to be in that forefront area. Like when we talked about earlier, you're kind of at the back end of Facebook now for advertising, right? You're kind of at the back end of Google for advertising. You're kind of at the back end for even YouTube for advertising. They've been doing it for a while, unbeknownst to a lot of us. Pinterest, you still have a place that you can really dominate and play. And that Pinterest experience will help you rank better for YouTube, will help you rank for SEO in the search engines, will help you rank for your blog. So for me, it's really like the catalyst for your business right now.
Definitely.
And you can be found by not even being on the platform. Like your account doesn't have to be open for you to be found, because you can be found for your boards. You can be found for your profile. So, I mean, people are searching Pinterest. The question is, are they finding you?
Are they finding you? Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah. Any other? So I know that was kind of a lot to this. So if you guys want information around the Sweet Pinterest Escape, reach out. You guys are here on YouTube. You're on my Facebook. You're wherever you are. Just message me or say, hey, yes, I'm in. Tell me more. And we'll get that information over to you because it's going to fill up quick. You know, we've already got a few people in. There's some spots left, but you know, once those 10 rooms fill up inside this mansion, that's it. You know, that's the event. And I promise you, it's going to be an event that people will say, this is what started my business. This is literally what launched my business to where it is today. It's from what I learned at this workshop. I promise you that. I will make that really bold, crazy promise. I know. But that's what's up.
I will say, though, that I do believe in your promise. And I know that's so easy to say. You're going to be there, Felicia. Of course, you will say that. But you know what? I actually, I was doing pretty well with my videos in terms of viewers. But again, you know, you want more than viewers. It's nice that people are seeing you and everything. But I needed to move along. And since I'm so creative, I'm not exactly the, you know, ultimate SEO expert. I mean, I'm learning, but that's where I'm getting help from Katrina. And just one session with her, I think, what was it? Did we sit like 35 minutes, I think, to just teach me a little bit about being more intentional with my keywords and understanding it a little bit better. And just that got me traffic to my website, which was a big deal because I was kind of missing that link on Pinterest for a little while. And so if 35 minutes can do that for you, I mean, 3 days can do a heck of a lot.
Yep. All right. So we've got to get going, everybody. I know we're at time. So thank you again. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you for your expertise. We're going to keep this conversation going because it doesn't end today. I'd love to invite you all back and have you guys come in. If you guys got value from this, share it out. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I look forward to having everybody back again because I think this is going to be a fun conversation to keep going.
Yeah, we need to continue it. Definitely.
Yes, we do. All right. So everybody have a good one. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.